Yeah. I know, man. Okay, I'm on to the quality, yo.
Yeah. Whoa. Check it out, y'all. This is Lil Ya. This is my podcast, Be Real 23 podcast. I got a special person on here today that I want to interview for y'all. Y'all been asking about my dude. This is the famous GEEDY P, man. What's up, GEEDY? Look
What's
like
up?
you
What's up?
blanked
What's up?
out.
Oh shit! Somebody was calling. You can see me now. You can hear me.
I can hear you, but I can't see you, dude.
They calling me already, man. I hope that shit. I hit the damn thing or whatever, man. Damn.
For
Uh,
sure,
I,
for sure.
I try to put that shit on damn airplane mode. I wonder if I should have
Wait.
did. I was thinking about doing this shit on my web on my actual damn computer. You hear me?
Oh, man, you want to try to start over, dog?
Yeah, let's try to start. I'm gonna try to do it on my own computer. If you could probably send me the link to my email.
You
I
got a
wanted to.
phone number on there or something?
I think it would. It still is there connected to my what you call it, so it might let it do it like that. It should let it do it like that.
Hold on, just try and see if you can click back in right quick. Ain't nothing shaking. Ain't nothing happening. All right, y'all. Little technical difficulties. We gonna run it back for y'all. You know what I'm saying? The bullshit. We gotta get it straight, yo. Well, see how there you go. There you go. You good. You good.
Yeah, man. Damn, I'm sorry. Shit.
It's all
I
good,
hope they don't
man.
keep
That's
calling me.
some problems in with this computer thing is out of our hands. So I don't look at it like our fault, dog. So you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But anyway, that's just the famous GEEDY P, man. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the people that don't know, bro.
First of all, just want to tell you thank you for having me. My name's GDP from New Orleans, but I just want to tell you thank you for having me because it's crazy. I never think that in a million years you'll be interviewing me, asking me questions and stuff like that. All the time, I was trying to steal y'all CD out. My brother called us, so we go listen to it in the room. I listen to it in the CD player. And they like, man, where my damn tape at, man? Where my damn UNLV tape at? We like, man, I don't know. The whole while we got that bitch stashed. We
It's
like,
all
brother, hump
good,
that shit.
dog.
So, man, shit, I'm just you know,
I
just glad to be
appreciate the
on the show,
love,
man.
bro. For sure. I appreciate the love. Say, GEEDY, what part of New Orleans you really from and what part that you rep and why?
Okay, that's a good question. Though nobody never asked me like that. Damn, that was a good way to put that. Well, I really feel more connected to the East. I lived a lot. I was born in the Treme area, which is one of the most historical African American communities in America, and that's where a lot of the black people lived at when the city started getting built at the Treme area. So you got the French Quarter was the original part of the city. And then a lot of black people lived in back of town Jamaica. So that's where I was born at. My mom and dad and then brought me home. That was on my birth certificate in the sixth ward. Then I lived a lot in the seventh ward and in the east, so back and forth between both of those. But the reason I feel more connected to the east is because I went to Livingston and Abe even when I was staying downtown, because I wanted to go to Gregory because my first name Gregory. And my brother John, my oldest brother, that I was taking tapes that he was buying from Gimmick Records from y'all. Um, he was going to Gregory, and my cousin Nicole and my cousin Angela. My cousin Nicole used to date BG back in the day, and my cousin Angela used to talk to Turk or whatever.
Wow.
He was actually on the road with Turk or whatever. Turk said it before or whatever. He said, my auntie. I remember that when they stayed in Skyview. But anyway, both of them went to Gregory and my big brother. So they went to Gregory and I wanted to go there. So when I left Bentonville, I wanted to go there, but I couldn't. So I didn't want to go to John Mack. I didn't want to go to Philip. I didn't want to go to none of those schools. So I was like, I just stay at Livingston. So I was always in the East. So I just was going in the East. So 9 months out the year, you in the East or whatever from school. So you're gonna feel more connected there. So even though I was going back downtown to sleep and live at our house, I felt more connected to the East more, Tyra Lane.
Okay.
But I
Right.
could still kind of rep both of them just like Baby still say 13 and third wall,
Yeah,
Tupac. People
yeah.
get
I
mad.
got you.
Oh man, Pac be forgetting about Harlem, and he be forgetting about he lived in Baltimore when he was going to acting school. He just talk about the beat. So I don't be wanting to feel like I don't say that's part of my story because it is. But if you asking what do I feel more connected with, and most of my friends from the East, you know.
Okay, okay, the East, bro? Well, back in the days, the East, like you said, it was like a fortunate part for New Orleans people to be staying in, and you know what I'm saying. I don't say they were considered as lames. They
Right,
just, we just looked at them like little fortunate rich kids. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So that's my take for repping the East and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
How,
what I would say to that, to add to that, it was an area where, Cash Money had the house out there when it was on
right,
cribs and
right,
how I'm living. A lot of football players, Pat Swilling lived out there. A lot of affluent doctors and black entrepreneurs lived out there in the East. So it was a place like that. But you got to realize the East, it was at the time before Katrina, it was like 80,000, 80 to 85,000 people that lived in the East. That was bigger than the city of Gary, Indiana population, where the Jackson Five from Michael Jackson to be exact. So it had its own, we had two high schools, Averson and Reed, two middle schools, Fantasy and Livingston. We got our own hospitals. We had our own mall that was making up for 25% of the sales tax in Orleans Parish. So it was a lot of money flowing through the East and it was helping out the city or whatever. Then you got the bowling alley. Before Katrina, you had Jazzland that which got bought by Six Flags, but then that went down, that never came back.
right.
You had, where Baby and all them was getting fucking drug from Souls and Mr. Goldman. So you had that, but then you still had the hood parts too. Like Lil Manifesto dope moving from Uptown to Crowder, a juvenile said bundles of dope running from the Magnolia to the Goose, a beefing like the checkerboard and the Goose, a Soldier Slim saying 95 ran on Tire Lane and busted brain, just
Yeah,
left
it
in the
definitely
whole out
was.
East show,
It,
Feel I Feel, talking about niggas getting niggas jacking niggas on that DT9 about shouting out the Goose and
Shout
shouting
out to
out on
Phil, man.
Bunker Hill, Feel I Feel, shout you got Gregory D talking about niggas getting their medallion snatched at the St. Mary dance by Pecan
That's
Grove.
right.
So it was a
He
lot
wasn't
of
nothing to
hood.
play with, dog. It wasn't nothing to play with then on the
Right,
stick, but nowadays is like Uptown was back in the days.
right.
You know what I'm
And I
saying?
think
So
and like it's bad, like uptown and downtown. And I think that's what every place across America where you have a lot of housing projects say is gonna be a lot of crime because it's concentrated in the area. So y'all still had those 4 projects up there. They had 10 projects in total in New Orleans, and 4 of them was uptown, 5 of them downtown, and one of them was on the West Bank, which was in Algiers, the Fisher. So wherever you got a lot of projects and you got all these people on top of each other, there's gonna be a lot of crime. That's why they had to have a lot of police precincts inside the police. I mean, inside the project, and that still wasn't stopping nothing. But now, since Katrina, they didn't gentrify a lot of areas like they did in Harlem, they did in DC and Chicago, and put everybody into a concentrated area. And now the East, at one time, was where most black people probably did move at. Not saying, like I said, it wasn't bad parts, because there was a lot of bad parts too, but it was still looked at, like you said, like a little getaway, how people might have moved to Kenner or they might move to Slidell for a better life, but then the crime came with it. And since Katrina, they just kind of forgot about the East. So now you got, like you said, a lot of urban decay, a lot of the plaza didn't come back, which the plaza was the first place in the state of Louisiana to have a Chick-fil-A. It was right across from
wow,
Mr. Goldman's and all that. That was the
damn.
first one. They had an ice skating ring in the plaza. It was better than the mall in Louisiana. So and even the architecture idea that came for the the North Shore Square Mall in Slidell, that whole design was, I think, the same architect that designed the plaza, designed the North Shore Square Mall in Slidell. So a lot of those white people started flighting to Slidell and Chalmette when a lot of black people went to coming in the 80s and the 90s and accelerated to the 2000s, even before Katrina. Because the Desire started getting knocked down in the
Before
1995.
Katrina,
That was the
right,
first
right.
project, right? So a lot of those people from the Desire already was coming into the East. Even when them dudes was getting money, they was coming into the East. And then the crime started coming. So they had people, even on Tower Lane, it was a gumbo pot. Casey Red, they used to rap, would take photos on Tower Lane with Casey Red and Hoes. A lot of them used to be in a house whatever on Tower Lane. A lot of
Okay.
people, I remember Juvenile living on Tower Lane when he had the red cut dog. Something I didn't know. Juggy told me Master P used to live on Tower Lane before, and the police was trying to kick in, I think, his door or the people next door, and they kicked in the wrong door or whatever. But that's how bad it was on Tower Lane then. So Tower Lane's still bad today. So like I said, it was bad spots, but it accelerated. But like I said, I think I used to be in the Milk a lot, and I seen the good parts of the East and I seen the bad parts. A lot of time people just think everybody in the East was living like the Huxtables or like a fucking the Fresh Prince of Bel Air with the banks. Like everybody had a Benz and everybody
Right.
going to private school. It wasn't all like that, but
Mhm.
you did have that too.
You did have that. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Say, bro, I need to know this personally, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you knew the importance of knowledge, bro?
I was real young. My daddy from uptown, my daddy used to sing in a group with your uncle and the
That
Mystics and all that stuff like that. But my daddy used to always tell me every day you got to learn something. So I remember going to school and I used to come back, and get in the car with him, and I'd be like, I played on the yard, we played Ninja Turtles and all that, and we was
but what you learned? That's what he
yeah, yeah,
asked.
we I ate this today. He like, what did you learn? So I'd be like,
Yeah, you must
I
tell me.
learned this. He was like, every day when you get in the car, when you come home, I'm gonna ask you what you learn. You better have some. You better learn a new color. You better learn a new city, a animal,
Something every day. That's right.
something
That's
every
right.
day or whatever, something in history. So every day I came home, I'd learn something. Then my dad used to like, make me like read books and stuff like that. So that made me love reading. And then when
Mm,
we was on Tire Lane, we used to go in the plaza. And with my brother Brandon, that's in Angola. Well, he not in Angola more. He in Hunts now,
okay.
doing life. When he
Shouts
used to
out to
go in,
Brandon, man.
yeah, Boss B, yeah, Brand. So when B and them used to be in the plaza, him and Pee Wee doing life in Parchment, which is the state Mississippi penitentiary. And that's what I'm saying. So to say people to be like, Pee Wee was always a little bad little kid or whatever, and it's unfortunate he and that not, but people probably would have thought being in the East, they probably have been in Princeton or Harvard, but one of them in Angola, unfortunately, one of them in one of them in state prison, Louisiana, one of them in Mississippi. But anyway, back to the story. They were stealing CDs. I'm stealing the book. To look at the difference. That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to show. Not that they was bad people, but they was
Right,
like, man, we
right.
gonna steal a mystical CD, a Cash Money CD, and I
Yeah.
was going to steal a book out Barnes and Nobles. I think it was Barnes and Noble. I don't know if it was Borders or Barnes and Nobles at the time. They had bookstores in the mall, and the books I couldn't get at the book fair because at the book fair you had to buy a book. So sometimes my mom didn't have no money for me to buy the books that I wanted to buy, like the Goosebump books or the Ninja Turtle movie books or the Ghostbuster books or what have you, whatever the book was. So I would go in Barnes and Noble, and at the time Goosebump books was really really popular, the scary books by
Yeah.
R.L. Stein. So I was stealing the books out there, and I had so many Goosebump books, and I used to read a lot, and that's how I
Better with
fell in love with reading. And sometimes I read the Malcolm X books and all that, but they'll be kind of boring. But that made me want to read, and it just made it fun to read. And then when I was at Benville too, I used to read a lot of books when I was in the somewhere at Benville. And the more books you read, you get these little gift cards like
Yeah,
for
I had two kids with the BNV. I knew about that.
okay, yeah. So
They
they'll
were
have
still doing that. Yeah.
right, and they'll get they'll give us like a little thing for like pizza Hut. And at the time in
Right.
the Sunwalk by Benville right there in Gentilly, they'll have I mean right there in the Sunwalk, but it's still the Gentilly. But right there in Benville area, they used to have the pizza Hut right there. And I used to
Right.
go in there and get the pan pizza. So you read so many
On
books,
Paris.
you get the Le Pan on Paris, yeah, on Paris Avenue, right, right. So I always
Hmm.
want to read because that my daddy.
Okay. Now we know you well grounded with a little bit of everything. I say that you know a lot about everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But what age would you say you fell in love with hip hop?
Shit, since I was young. I mean, like I said, my daddy was into music because my daddy he wasn't big into sports. Only sport I know my daddy really did love. He played baseball. Like my Uncle David played football. My Uncle David was a good quarterback. He went to like Ecker P. Hearn. He was the king of Ecker P. Hearn, and he played quarterback at Booker T. And he
Hmm.
come up with Glenn X and all that. And my daddy wanted to do everything he did. But my daddy really just liked the boxing a lot. So all he did was watch music stuff and play music. So we watching Video Soul and we watching Soul Train, and we watching Opalo, Showtime at Opalo, and I'm just always listening to music, his soul music. But then being around my big brother, he playing Too Short, he playing A Ball MJG, he playing y'all music in the city, he playing Partners in Crime, he playing Pimp Daddy, all that, a lot of shit that everybody's in the city, Everlasting Hitman and all that, and Tim Smooth and everything. But I'm still hearing LL Cool J, I'm hearing motherfucking NWA,
Yeah, you
and
got
all
like
this
a mixture
Tupac.
of everything.
He
All
loves
that.
Spice One, so I'm hearing this. So I'm like, damn, shit hard or whatever. So my brother like 7 years older than me. So I'm listening to a lot of stuff that he got, and I think that's what really made me fall in love with it. Listening to his tapes and him being a fan of it and looking at his basketball cards, like what he was doing. We was looking at, your big brother always be like, your first little hero or somebody you kind of look up to. So my big brother, John, that's why I was falling in love with hip hop. I said, he got me
For
on
sure.
Jay-Z hard.
For sure. When did when and how did you know that? Hold on. When when and how did you know that you were good at blogging?
When
You
I know I was
gotta know
good at,
you're great at it, bro. I mean, everybody know it, so obviously you have to know it as well.
yeah, I want to say a shout out to them Zephyrs and all that. I had to
Yeah, yeah.
throw back
Shout out to the
1997. New
Furious.
Orleans
No
people
doubt.
that they gonna know about that Zephyrs. But when I really knew I was good at it, at first, I didn't even know what it was I was doing. Like I used to be giving my opinions about Haiti influence on New Orleans or the food or this or that, and just talking about stuff. But it wasn't until I started getting on Sean Cotton from Say Cheese, and I saw what he was doing, and I went to this. He had a pop-up shop. I think it was like 2018 in the summer at Sneaker Politics in the French quarters, and the whole city had came out. I'm like, man, how this dude get all these people in here? Like, what is this? And all I'm hearing about Say Chi, but I never really knew like the face behind it. And so I seen what he did, and I was trying to talk about. He was like, "What's the problem with New Orleans hip hop? What do you feel like it changed and help it woo?" Because I'm trying to help out because I love Lil Wayne and I love everything from New Orleans and stuff, the food and the culture. So I was trying to get on the mic to speak, but I couldn't. Everybody was getting the mic and they was passing it to other people, and so many people was asking questions, so they never got around to me. So I didn't get my moment at that time. But I kept doing what I was doing. So I started following his page, and then he had a post about the top 10 popular cities at the time. And then he did one 2 days after, I think, or something like that, or a week after, with the hardest markets to blow up in from 1 to 10. And the other one that had the hottest city at the time was Baton Rouge, was number one. And then
Mm,
the city that was the hardest city to blow up in right now was Baton Rouge, I mean New Orleans. And he was like,
right.
why is New Orleans so hard to blow up? And somebody make a video and tag us in it. We want to know y'all opinion. So Say Cheese had so many, like hundreds of thousands of followers. Maybe they was at 500,000. I know they kept deleting their Instagram, but they probably was at 800,000 or 500,000. So imagine how many people posting stuff, putting their opinions in the comments and making videos. Some kind of way my shit cut through. And I said what I said. I was like, people was trying to sound like Chicago too much and Philly and this
Mm-hmm.
and that. And he posted me. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm on there. And then it happened again and again. And then what I noticed is that I seen how he was putting his post together, like with the picture and then
Mm-hmm.
whatever the person's saying. So you'll know I'm talking about Cash Money. Cause when he posted my video, he had me next to the hot boys. I'm like, how he did that?
Yeah.
So I went to going on YouTube and looking at apps that people use that look collages. So I was like, oh, he took the picture and put the picture right here, and then he put the video right there, and then he. So I was like, so what I did was some dudes from Atlanta was like saying some stuff like I was saying like some shit or whatever. Somebody from Atlanta said that I said that New Orleans be biting them or whatever, and the dude was like, we don't bite y'all because the only thing y'all do down there is have gay rappers and y'all use dope all day. Y'all dope fiends out there. But I'm like, what the fuck? So I saw the comment and I made a video addressing that. And then Sean posted, I'm like, Big Meese turned y'all up. Y'all was behind to the Olympics came and made y'all city turn up because before that y'all was behind too or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean saw that and he posted it. And what I did was that time I took a picture of Big Meech and I took a picture of T.I. and put next to mine. And I tagged Sean in it and then he posted it. So after that, I learned how to post. I learned how to put a post together that was going to be able to catch people attention in the algorithm. I just couldn't use my face. I had to let
Mm-hmm.
people know what I'm probably talking about. And that's kind of how it happened. And then after that, Sean followed me, and then he just went to getting on me. But I think that's what made me good, just paying attention to how to put the post together. And then on that, I just kept learning. Nobody didn't teach me. I just
Yeah.
kept watching this stuff.
Bro. That's what's up, dog. Uh, who was the first artist you ever worked with?
The first artist I really worked with really was like my brother that's in jail. Just
Oh,
like
he
Jay
was a
Prince
rapper
got
too.
into
You rap
that
too?
Boss Beat. Yeah,
Okay.
Boss, huh?
He rapped too. I didn't know he
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. He
rapping.
rap his ass off. Boss B
Okay.
and my partners, they was doing it. What you say?
All
Yeah.
right.
No, yeah, yeah. It was my brother and my partners and all that. Like he was the one that really made me want to do it. Though it's like when Jay Prince said he really his brother name was Sir Rap a lot and he wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
Rap a lot records for his brother, but his brother went to jail. Well, I started doing it because of my brother. So when I was going to Delgado before Katrina, I took a lot of my money from my student loan and I went to Guitar Center and I was buying equipment
Okay.
and try to do some music. But then Katrina hit, and then I wound up getting some more money, and I spent like 10 racks on like MPC 2500, Phantom keyboards, and anointment mics and shit. I went to getting all the speakers, Kid Rockets and stuff, and did all that because of my brother. So he was the first one I did it with, and we was doing it, and then I started working with my cousin label
So
and
hold up. You started buying equipment actually before your brother went to jail. So when he went to jail, that's what really just left you with the stuff and you
yeah,
already
well, he
had that
still when
accomplished.
I still had so I bought a Liberty before Katrina, and then when Katrina that was like a little knickknack shit when I bought like a laptop, little small little stuff. It wasn't really hitting on too much whatever at the time. We was still trying to figure it out. I used to go and Scratch magazine with all the producers in Manny Fresh, KLC Pharrell, and I see all the equipment that they buying. Because at the time, my cousin that wound up going to Mississippi, he had Fruit Loops, but it was still the sounds to people sounding a little cheesy,
Right.
still in
Fruit Loops
sound
is a
as
program. If you don't
yeah,
understand, it's a program, something like Pro Tools, and
right.
people used to record on. Yeah.
Making beats and all that. At the time, like Soldier Boy made Crank that the song on there. Shorty Lord made Laffy Taffy. So a lot of people
Right.
still wouldn't really respect him for loose, so I didn't really want to get it, but he was making dope beats with his group in Mississippi with it. So I was gonna get that, but then I was like, man, no, if I get some real money, I'm gonna go to Guitar Center and get all the other shit. So I got all that other equipment or whatever, and my brother was still out. And then he wound up going to jail in 2009 for murder. And I had all the equipment. And then after a while, I just kind of really pretty much sold all my equipment. And then I went to college and then in Alabama. And then when I left, I went to doing the stuff with my cousin or whatever,
Okay.
A&R
So
and all that.
have
But
you
my
ever
brother was the
actually
first
played
artist.
it? Have
Huh?
you actually played a instrument? What kind of knowledge you have for music? Not just knowing good music, but have you ever been involved in playing instruments? Or
I always wanted to play. This is something I never told nobody. I used to always want to be in a band. I used to want to play tenor because I used to love to go to like Livingston band
what
when
is
I was
man,
younger.
man, man? That band changed my whole life to this day. Dog. I'm
Yeah,
telling
and
you,
you
that
play
band,
cymbals, huh? Yeah, you play cymbals, huh?
cymbals, baritone, and snare.
Okay, so you played a little bit of everything. So,
Yeah,
and you went to Woodson. I wanted to go, and my cousin them. That's what the school. My cousin Chuck would have to go to Woodson to be to stay in the Melt, but they wound up leaving after he left. Gus came to these. But anyway, because I told you I used to spend a lot of summers in the Melt for Mean Project, by my auntie Carol and all that. And when I was telling Baby, all the people that used to be by my auntie house and all that, he was like, man, I know all them whatever, Berger and
yeah.
all them boys, whatever and shit like that. But anyway, back to the story or whatever and shit like that. So no, I don't know how to play no instrument, but I used to want to play tenor. I used to want to play tenor because Livingston had a great band back in the day, and the band director name was Mr. Dickinson. He come from St. Augustine. He used to have a paddle. He used to be whipping people ass whatever with that poppy with that paddle. But Mr. Dickinson, I want to play in the tenor for them. And then when I used to always go hang around Abe, so I used to go sit in the band room at Abe, and they used to have a dude named Tater and Saji.
Mm-hmm.
Saji was playing tennis, so I wanted to play that, but I couldn't never play it, but I loved the music because I always heard it. But I know it would sound good, so I could get with a producer and be like, look, play a horn like na 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 na, and I just
Right.
tell them they'll
You had
play it.
the if. You had the
Right.
if.
I say put a lead in there or put the little Y in there. Wong, wong, wong. Like I know it would sound good and be like, look, just put this in there, put the clap in there like Pimp C do whatever. So I got an ear for it like Puffy. Like Puff can't play like Jermaine Dupri, but he got an ear for it. So I got an ear
Facts.
to know how to construct it and to get that sound. If I feel like it need to be bright and soft and melodic, or
Right.
if it need to be eerie like a horror
That's a
movie, like
talent. That's a gift that you got, man.
right,
Everybody can't do that. Some
right.
people can rap their ass off and don't know what a good sound, good track sound like.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So,
So yeah, I can't play, but I know what I could kind of sit there with a
man,
producer and
that's a
help him with
gift, man.
ideas.
Hey,
Mhm.
bro, what in your opinion, what makes a great artist?
What makes a great artist? Somebody that's really, really hungry. Um, what makes a great artist? Somebody that really take and pay attention to their craft, like Wayne. Like how Wayne really study the flows and the lyrics and the way to attack the track and the way to know how to ride the beat. And it's just like a singer. They know when to hit the right note with the bridge, and they know what's gonna make you just like give you chills when they hit that note. And when they hit that note as a singer with the gone with the certain octaves like Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, you know, yeah, even like you said, Jay-Z's, the Waynes, Pac. Like I like an artist that you can really feel the music, like Lauryn Hill. You can feel the lyrics, like Erica Badu. Even like y'all music or whatever, when you can feel it or whatever. To get into it, and they got to tow my gun from the back to the mouth to the Cali, like y'all rapping. I got a head, like your song. Ain't no screws in it. To just being able to come up with a good story, concepts,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beats, being able to, like you said, pick a beat. Being able to be a great listener, being able to be coachable, just like a great boxer or a great athlete. You can still have all the talent in the world, but you have to be able to be open minded and try to understand if somebody trying to help you be better. Knowing that when people can help you and all that, and not feeling like you know everything, because you always got room for improvement and you always got room to grow. So I think a great artist could do all those things. They make great music. They always on a constant journey to get better. Because a great basketball player, like I said, a boxer, they're gonna stay in the gym. So a great rapper should always, like Wayne, studying words and writing a lot, and trying to make relatable songs. I
Right.
think great artists make relatable records that can resonate with the world, that could become anthems and all that. So I think it's a lot of things that make a great artist, but I definitely think being consistent, being a good listener, and being a constant student and all that, especially when you got a talent. But you can always get better too. For some people that wasn't always that good. But if you work hard enough
Yeah, you
and
learn
you
something
want
new
to
every
do
day.
it,
Every day, just like you said earlier, learn something new every day, and that
yeah,
makes you better, a
your
better person
vocabulary.
and individual.
Right, your vocabulary could grow, your visuals could grow for wise the way you paint your pictures with your videos and the way your videos tell a story, the way your stage performance get better because you want to have a better performance. If you want to be a better singer, you might go looking for coaching. So somebody can help you. Might have a great voice already. You might be a great vocalist, but you can make your vocals even better.
Better. Right,
So,
right.
and that's gonna take practice. So I think
Hmm.
all those things matter. When you want to be the best, you're gonna do everything to make you great.
So, in saying that, my next question was, what do you look for in an artist? So, saying what you just said, that's all the qualities you look for before you decide to give an artist your attention.
Yeah, first of all, I look for their character, because character the main thing. I'm gonna look at character just as an individual person, and just see like how real you is. Because a lot of people like, oh man, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. Man, fuck with me, and we gonna get it, man. A lot of If I had a dollar for that, a lot of people don't always be that, and that's
Right,
just even
right,
as a friend or whatever. So I gotta be able to vibe with them, and see what their character is, whatever. Then once I like them as a person, not saying every artist that ever was signed to Columbia, Atlantic, Interscope, RCA was, somebody that they like, they just did business with. But some of those executives never really meet the talent. But if I feel like you're gonna be working with the talent day to day and being in life, like how Whitney Houston and Clyde Davis kind of had like a relationship like that, they had a
right,
vibe. So if I'm gonna be more
right.
hands-on with an artist, just like if I'm more hands-on with a boxing trainee than I'm training, if I was a trainer, I would want to have that type of relationship where I feel like we got that connection. And then I'm looking for, like you said, their skill set. Can they rap? Do they really have flows? Are they really good? Is the music giving me goosebumps? Is it making me like, God damn, like this shit just fucked me up? So if it make
Yeah,
me feel like that, I feel like they might have some. So certain rappers that I heard gave me goosebumps and chills. Was like, man, this shit fucked me. God damn, nigga.
yeah,
So I'm like, you got something. If I can really take my ideas and put with what you got, then I feel
uh-huh.
like something could come out of it.
Bro, for sure. Hey, rest in peace, BTY Youngin, man. We can't close this without saying that, and we know you played a pivotal role in his career. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
But
Rest in peace, yeah.
I want to know: have you ever interviewed at least three of your favorite artists? Like artists that you really always, really fuck with their music before you met them personally? Have you ever
Well,
interviewed at least three of them yet?
so far, so far, and I'm not just saying it because you on here, like I said, 'cause we listen to a lot of UNLV. So I'm a big Cash Money fan. But I gotta keep it
Appreciate
real. I
that,
know my
dog.
name
Thank
GEEDY
you.
P and is inspired by Master P, but I was my cousin Ronald. I say I'm lying if I say I was team No Limit over Cash Money. No, I was Cash Money. He was riding No Limit, and
For
I was
sure.
Cash Money. So yeah, cause I interviewed you, that meant a lot as an artist. Let me see another artist that I so far that I interviewed that I like a lot that I listen to. In the city, if I'm gonna say that I didn't be able to interview so far because I didn't interview that many people yet. But the ones that I did, it would have been you, because you were part of UNLV. It would have been Mina because he was a part of Partners of Crime because we listened to a lot of this shit with Big Boy. Um,
Shouts out Nina, man.
Shouts out me and another person that I would have to say, but they not a rapper or whatever that I interviewed was Bias. I really
Oh yeah,
enjoy
okay.
interviewing Bias, whatever, because
I saw that
Bias,
too. I saw
yeah,
that. That was tight. That was
Bias
tight.
played a big part in No Limit and being P right hand man and just what his role is. Me as the executive, I admire them a lot too, whatever, for what they did, or whatever. So I would say the people that I liked the most that I interviewed, and one of them was, Bias that's not an artist, and you and Mina that was artists that I actually used to listen to a lot. I
Okay.
really used to listen to y'all stuff.
Bro. That's what's up, dog. Well, I done got over to this podcasting thing, dog, and you one that I really looked up to and admired. And
Right.
I feel privileged to be interviewing you right now, dog. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
I feel honored that you even took the time, bro, to interview me. Like, this is like y'all don't understand this. Like, whoever watching this, like with UGK meaning Texas, with A Ball and JG meaning the South and meaning
Man, that's a big
Memphis,
compliment,
with
dog.
with
You know,
with 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 Outcast mean to and Goody Mob mean to Georgia in the South. Um, with
damn,
with with, with Tula Crew
man,
being in
that's big,
Florida,
bro.
with 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 those people in the South mean 3-6 Mafia mean to Memphis and all that. This with UNLV mean to Louisiana, mean to the South and the hip hop. So, but Lil
Appreciate
Ya to
that,
be
man.
interviewing me, rest in peace, Yellow Boy, badass Yellow Boy.
Facts, facts.
Um,
Free tech.
free tech or whatever,
Mm.
9 or whatever. That's locked up in the same prison where Pimp C was at. Hopefully he in good spirit and he be home soon to be back reunited with you and y'all get back and
Oh
keep it
yeah,
going. And thank you for keeping the name alive, like Bun kept Pimp name alive when he was gone, whatever, and all that, and screaming free Texas like Pimp and Bone screaming free Pimp C. But like I
yeah,
said, just for you to be interviewing me, what y'all mean to the South mean a lot. It mean to New Orleans and stuff like that. Cause like I said, BG was like coming like y'all was, whatever. It's like y'all inspired him and all that. And y'all was the niggas
man.
going raw. Man, I remember that Pimp Daddy, my cousin-in-law. Deuce had the same on Park and Rome. He was riding around in a mare with a red one, whatever. And he was bumping that no 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 and
Uh-huh.
with that Gone Not Forgotten and shit like that, bro. And that
Right,
Pimpin' Ain't
right.
Easy and all that shit, bro. Like that,
Man.
them songs that y'all did for Pimp
Hmm.
on that album, bro. That shit just like the beats and that song. It was crazy, bro. So
Man, I
just
miss
like
that
that.
dude. But I got a lot of eps about Pimp. I'm gonna release and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I miss that dude, dog. He was a super talented cat.
Yeah,
That's what a
yeah,
lot of people don't really know about Pimp Daddy. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Like
But
BG
yeah,
said.
G, bro, I got one more question for you, dog,
Okay,
before I let
okay,
you bounce, bro.
okay.
Free J Merck, first of all.
Definitely
Free
Free J
J
Murray.
Merck,
Free
man.
J Murray. He been out 3 months now, man. Let me
What
tell y'all
made
something
you
right quick too. That's
decide that?
crazy. I gotta say this. That's crazy because it just blew me away. Now, Youngin, I met Jay Merck through Youngin, right? Youngin put him on the phone with me when he was in the parish, and Youngin didn't really ever used to put me on the phone to rappers because everybody be trying to rap to me, but I guess he felt like this dude really could rap. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
waste your time. Check him out. I heard him. I was blown away. Anyway, Merck come home. He home, and then he go to jail. And he get booked into custody.
Hold on, he came
Um,
home after you met him on the phone?
yeah. Well, hold on. We say
Did he come home after you meet him initially on the phone? Or he was
no.
still.
When I met him on the phone, he was in
Mm-hmm.
jail. This was like probably 2013 or something like that. When
Okay.
Youngin was in the parish in OPP on B2, I think, or something like that. B3, one of them. But they was in there, and he put him on the phone with me. So I didn't meet him in person or whatever. like really, really like on the streets till he got out of prison. We used to always talk on the phone in jail and all that stuff like that, and always kept in touch, whatever. But I met him when he got out or whatever. But he had been in jail almost damn near 10 years, whatever. And that was a
Yeah.
long time ago. So anyway, when he went to jail on the same day that Youngin got killed. So Youngin got killed in 2017, April 29th, and J Merck got booked into custody, this year, 2023, April 29th. Youngin
Okay.
last post, I said that I was like, that's crazy. Youngin last post was April 28 or whatever, with him and his cousin in the streets. And J Merck last post was him in jail rapping on the yard, April 28th. I was like, what the fuck? So it just was like mind blowing to me because like the
Fine.
dates that was crazy. Like I was like, what the fuck? I don't know. But it was just ironic because these stories kind of tied together. That's why it just blew me
Fine.
away. Even when I told him that, he was like, "Man, that's crazy." Like out of all our days I could have went to jail, I went to jail, got arrested. The day he got killed, April 29th. Crazy.
Uh,
Yeah.
so from my understanding, you took on the responsibility of Youngin when he was locked up too. You actually met him while he was locked up, or you met him before he
Yeah, I
got
met
locked up
Youngin.
and
Well,
worked
I
with him?
met
Never.
I met Youngin before he got locked up. I met Youngin at the first time I ever seen him
Okay.
in BTY. Youngin was at the studio. I think he was coming to do a song with Super Blanco at the time. And Kid was in the
Okay.
studio, whatever. And Youngin had on some Timberlands with a bald head. I'm like, man, this dude remind me of DMX. I didn't really know who he was, whatever, but
Okay.
he
I
dapped
got you.
everybody out. But
I
I met
got
him the first time at S80 studio, and then I met him again when he jumped on the Youngest Ones CD or whatever. Cushion on OG Kush OG Hash and Codeine mixtape. And I was like, that's when I was like A&R over there by my cousin label 0 to 6 at the time. So I met him when he came for Soup and when he came for the youngest one to just do features. So and then when I really went to working with him, he was in jail. And that's when our relationship had built like that and was working with him and then
okay.
we kind of stopped working again.
Yeah, but there's a lot of similarities and signs. You know what I'm saying? And you're a
Yeah,
God fearing person. You really check out those signs. And you know what I'm saying? I mean,
right.
everything happened for a reason. So
That's even
sometimes
why.
some things happen and God replace. God put a replacement in there and keep you on your path. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, 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 right. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I
So
said,
yeah, that's
they was both connected. Like I said, those two stories, Merc, that's how,
yeah,
Merc always talk about it because that's how he met me. So I guess he can't even say how he met me without saying, he met me too young. But it's crazy that,
right,
Birdman even got a chance to see what I'm doing and reached out to me because of that. Cause he was like, Young, say what you did for him in
hmm,
jail and how you held him down. And I had been doing it even
yeah,
before I knew
bro,
Young and I was Josing my brother. I was Josing cousins that I had in the feds. I was Josing other cousins that was in jail before and
yeah.
all that, and sending them money and writing them letters and doing stuff for them when I could. So me Josing people in jail and looking out, even though I never did no time, I just know what that shit mean. So it
And
wasn't nothing for me
I
to
say a
do that.
lot about you as a person, bro. I say a hell of a lot about you, especially somebody that never been to jail before.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I've been
usually
like I got arrested before, but it wasn't never like in there like
yeah,
probably like
time
a
take
few
time, take
days
time.
and all that now, but it wasn't like doing no time. My niggas be like, man, nigga know what it's like to be in there. So I gotta send my people something. I gotta do this because I done
Gotcha.
been there before.
Right,
I
right,
never been
right.
there like that, but I just relate to people and I try to understand it and all that and so I just try to put myself in those shoes. So I don't know. I just try to just keep it real all
See,
around the
bro.
board, just like the shit with the stuff in jail, going to 10-2 to Baton Rouge and speaking out for my brother case and a lot of other people that's locked up. See murder and a lot of those people that's affected by that 10-2 Jim Crow law that they don't want change and they don't make it retroactive. But I still do that for them. And
Mhm.
so I just always try to just do what I can for the people if I'm
Yeah, bro.
if I'm able to.
Say, Gene, I'm gonna tell you, in my eyes right now, dog, I know what's gonna prosper from you being the person you are. You know, I know you're gonna be financially super, super straight, but right now I'm looking at you on that level like it's already there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to tell G Merck all the time, bro. I used to tell G Merck, dog, you might as well start thanking God instead of asking Him.
Mhm.
Because whatever you asking for is coming, is coming manifesting right now.
Right,
So just say thank you, dog. I know you're gonna be, and you're gonna have whatever you want in life, my nigga. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right,
And
right.
and and I say that with honesty and respect. You
Right.
know, because I mean, what else can a person do before the Lord bless them? You know what I'm saying? Abundantly. You know what I mean? You that person, bro. Your heart says it all. And
That's like,
besides your heart, you got the knowledge to back it all up. So that
yeah,
that would that would separate you from a lot of bloggers.
right. That's
Whoever
like I got
else
a
doing
tattoo.
what you do.
That's like I got a tattoo. It's been so long ago. I have it on my arm. I got the Louisiana boot, and I got a scroll, and I got my cousin that's dead on my arm, and I got the GEEDY P logo on me too. But on my arm, I got a scroll. You know, when Jesus talking the Bible is in red. If I can remember it correctly, it was saying, "For surely I said to you, whoever says to this mountain, be cast and removed into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes
Right.
that those things he said will be done, he will
Yeah.
have whatever he says." So I know if you believe it in your heart, you know, you can have whatever you want. And that's why I got that faith scripture on my own, you know, and I got it when Jesus was speaking in the Bible, he was talking. So I
Right.
wanted something that was meaningful to me, and you know, so it just mean a lot or whatever. And I just try to keep that faith the size of a mustard seed and just stay consistent. And I feel like that's why everything coming together. That's why all the people that I admired, like y'all and so many other people and stuff like that, you know, admire what I do. I remember I interviewed Mr. Meany. He said, "Man, you one of the best people to ever interview me." He like, you know, you ask me questions that main magazine publication journalists never asked me, and I never been media trained. But the
Mm-hmm.
same thing that I used to get in trouble for in school and high school at Averson, at Livingston, even in elementary at Bienville or Schaumburg or Ravens, for a McDonald 40 for talking too much in class, my teachers would get me, I get in trouble for that. Not knowing me talking was gonna help me out one day. But a
Yeah.
lot of times schools don't understand how to nurse the children's talent. I could have been, it could have been saying, you might talk a lot because you're gonna be in journalism. Are you gonna be interviewing people? Are you gonna be a
Right.
host? Are you gonna
Right.
be a speaker that's gonna be
Man.
known around the world? But they're taking like, you know, you talking too much. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I was disrupting the lesson. Could have been, but looking back
I
at it
think
now,
they need to. I think they need to reevaluate who they make teachers before they make them, dog. Because I had a teacher told me that I asked too many questions, and as I got older, I was told that the
ain't no,
ain't no question a
yes,
dumb question.
yeah,
You
ain't
know,
no
the
question,
best
and
you
ain't
know.
too many questions.
Hey, yeah.
Ask
So
away, yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
bro. So I ain't big on the teachers, dog.
my
For real,
my
dog.
my daddy always say an inquiring mind wants to know, and that's why I always try to, you know, go above and beyond. But I would say it was one teacher in McDonald, Florida, when I went to school in the Goose in second grade. It was a combination class, and she really was a real nice lady. She always was trying to be understanding, always telling us dream big. And I mean, she bought some McKinsey donuts for me, y'all. You know, people in New Orleans know, people out of town might not know McKinsey, but
Oh
McKinsey
yeah,
donuts is the shit. And
hell yeah,
she asked me what I wanted for my birthday on March 31st, my birthday, and I told her I just want you to get us at the class a lot of down McDonald McKinsey glazed donuts. So
yeah,
I didn't say get a cake. I say just get all us a lot of donuts, and she got a bunch of dozens of donuts of glaze. And I remember that lady did that for me. No other teacher ain't never bought me nothing on my birthday. And it
yeah,
was a white lady named Miss Bungardner. I hope she's still alive and well. You
oh,
know,
bro,
maybe she's not. It was so long ago, but it was an old white lady. I just remember she used to wear glasses. She bought me all everybody Mackenzie donuts for my birthday,
for sure.
and she always was a nice lady. So yeah, man, I just want to tell you thank you, and I appreciate it. And it's an honor for you, you know, to be interviewing me, and that let me know I'm doing something right. That
Yeah,
mean I'm doing my purpose, because a lot of times we be wanting to say we got to be at this point in our life, or we supposed to be doing this by now. I feel like I'm a failure because I ain't
right,
here. But sometimes you might plan things, but your purpose gonna find you. And I feel like my purpose finding me, because anytime I'm being recognized by you, I'm being acknowledged by baby saying that I'm smart and I'm this, or Cameron from Harlem to say I'm spitting facts and knowledge, or for Juggy to say stuff about me from Fat Fat,
right. This is
Misdemeanor,
God timing,
Eli
bro.
Phil, all
This
these
is
people.
God timing, dog. When
Yeah,
God ready to give it to you, my man, believe me. And that's the way you want it. You don't want it on your time. You know what I'm
right,
saying? You want it on God time, bro.
right. He gonna
You
put
know
the
what I'm
table, he gonna
saying?
build a table for me, he gonna put it together,
Man,
and
ain't
all
no
I gotta do is
mistakes
sit
happen
down.
that way, dog. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Well, I'm gonna leave you right there, Cheetah, bro. I'm gonna get back with you, dog. You know, I know you got things to do. I ain't gonna hold you up too long, bro. But
Already, already,
appreciate the
already.
interview, dog. You
We doing
already
it. We
know
doing. We doing it for the South. Like Pimp C said, we doing it down for the South
you a
already.
white
You
man.
heard me? All right, yeah. I'm out.
For sure.
Peace, peace.
All
All
right,
right,
baby.
bet.
One.
All right.